Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to start with our next topic of our chapter, that is adaptation in animals of snowy region. Now, as we have already seen, adaptation in different animals which live in forest region, equatorial region, or in hot climate, desert area. Now what we'll see, what are the adaptations or what are the changes or what are the special characteristic are present in the animals which live in snowy region. Now what do you mean by snowy region? Snowy region are the cold regions. Cold regions are known as snowy regions. Now as you can see here, there are two animals you can see, polar bear and yak. They are the animals of the cold region, so they have certain special features which helps them to survive the cold temperature, the cold climate of the region. Now okay, now here you can see the picture of yak. Now as you can see, yak has really long feathers in its body. What does this feathers do? These thick layer of feathers help them to survive the really cold climate of the region, so that they can say protect themselves from really cold temperature. So that's why they have long and thick layer of feathers on them. Now next animal, if you see here, it's polar bear. Polar bear is white in color. Now this white color of their body helps them to get matched into, so the white color of their body help them to get matched into their background. As you know, in cold region there are snowfall and all the lands get white in color. The snow colors matches with the body color of polar bear, so it helps them to hide themselves from other animals, from the predators, and also it helps them to catch their prey. So these are the some changes, and also they have very thick skin which helps them from the cold temperature. Also one more example of cold region animal is penguin. If you have seen penguin, so they also have really thick skin that protect them from the cold temperature and also keep them warm. Also they have a white color of their skin, so white color matches with the background of the cold region, which is also white. The color of snow is also white, so it matches from the background and helps them to get mixed into the background. And also if you have noticed, penguins live in groups so that they can be warm. So living in group protect them from the really cold temperature of cold regions. So these are the certain adaptations which cold region animals have, so that they can survive really cold temperature of cold regions. Now next we'll see adaptation in aerial animals. Now what are aerial animals? Aerial animals are the animals which fly in air. So all the birds are included in these categories of animals. So what adaptation or what changes of body parts or behavior they have, so that they can adapt to their environment. So these aerial animals, as you all know, the animals which fly in air, they have wings instead of hands. Instead of hands or four legs, you can say four legs, they have wings. Why they have wings? So that they can fly in air. Wings help them to fly. And also they have as you can see here, the wings help them to fly, and also they have very light weight of body, and their body is tapering at both the ends, slightly pointed towards this starting point and end point, so that their body weight is maintained, the balance is maintained, and it helps them to fly in the air. And also they have less body weight so that they can fly easily in the air. And also they have if you see their food, so these foods are they use them for walking on land also. So these are the certain changes which they have. And also if you'll see one more example we can take here is of bat. Bat also have wings which are little bit different from these flying animals. They have their wings connected from both their legs, so which helps them in flying. So these are the certain changes which they have so that they can fly easily. They have scales on them also. These scales help them to protect themselves from other animal or from the predator. Predator is the animal which eat other animals for their nutrition. And also lizard, as you can see, lizard also have many adaptations. They use their muscles for creeping. These house lizard, crocodile or garden lizard, if you see what they use their muscles so that they can creep and they can move forward. Also snakes use their muscles so that they can move forward, they can creep. So these are the certain adaptations which they have. Also crocodile and lizard, if you see, they have very similar colors to the grass or the plants, so that they can hide themselves in that, they can get mixed with the surroundings, so that they can, crocodile can catch their prey, and lizards or other animals which have color which are mixing from their surroundings, so that they can so they can save themselves, they can protect themselves from the other animal which eat them. So these are certain adaptations. And also if you see tortoise have this very hard shell on them, so that this is the protection of tortoise, protection shell of the tortoise. When they feel danger, they take their forelegs and hind legs inside and their mouth also inside and get protected. This shell is really hard, so they can get protection from other animals. So these are the few adaptations which reptiles have. Now next we are going to see about the adaptations for food in animals. Now what are the different food habits of animal? Now as you all know, the top animals, they depend on other animal for their food. For example, lion, tiger, what they do, they catch other animal, they eat other animal for their nutrition. And if you see the animal which lion and tiger eat, they are herbivorous animal, means they depend on plants for their food. They depend on plants as well as animals. Some are the animals which eat both plants also and other animal also, and some animals are like that, they only eat plants for their food. And if you see, many other animals are there, insect, what they do. For example, as you can see here, snake eat other animals, other small animals. As you can see here, snake is eating a frog. They also eat rat and many more animals. And bird also have their different habit of food. Some birds eat small insects. And if you see butterfly, what butterfly eat, butterfly sucks the nectar from the flower. So this is the food for butterfly. These are the different habits of animals in food. So different animals have different habit of food. So according to their food habit, they have certain adaptations. For example, if you'll see butterfly have long tube-like tongue so that it can suck the nectar easily. And if you'll see these birds, they have long and pointed beak. And if you see lion, tiger, these animals, they have sharp and pointed teeth so that they can kill their prey easily, and they can tear the body of the animal they have catch. So these are the different adaptations they have so that they can fulfill their nutrition or their food needs. Now next topic, adaptation for blending with the surrounding. Now what are the adaptations, what does these mean? I have already given you some examples that lizard, they have very similar color to the surrounding of desert color, or also they get mixed to some plants, some trees, or something like that. And also if you'll see, many more animals are there which the body color of them get mixed to the surrounding. We have also seen the example of polar bear which have white color skin so that they can get easily mixed with their surrounding, which is white. The snow color is white, so everywhere they have white color more, so that's why their body color is also white. And also penguin, they have white color in them so that they can hide themselves, protect themselves, so they get mixed with their surroundings. So that is the adaptation for blending with the surroundings. So why these mixing of colors happen, why the animals which live in the particular surrounding, they have the same color. For example, if you take grasshopper, they are light green in color. Why they are light green in color? So that they can get easily mixed with the grasses. As you can see, grasses also have green color, so they can hide in the grasses easily and they can protect themselves from the other animals. And butterflies, if you'll see butterflies are really colorful. They looks very similar like flower, like color of the flower, so that you cannot easily find butterfly which is hidden in some plants or something like that. And lizards also have very different colors. If you see, some lizard have colors of grasses or some plants. And so these are the certain characteristics which animals have so that they can protect themselves by getting mixed into their surrounding or their surrounding colors. So from all these learning, what we have learned till now, all the adaptations, all the food habits, all the different characteristics of animals, what we have learned, that these adaptations, these characteristics, these habits, they make the animal to live, to survive in the environment in which they are. And also, they survive in that environment. They get food for for the purpose of feeding themselves, means so that they can get food. They have certain adaptations, and also they can reproduce. So all the characteristics which make them do all these things, to survive, to feed, to reproduce, these all the characteristics depending upon their environment, these are called as adaptations. So these are the characteristics which makes them to survive, which make them to reproduce, which make them to get nutrition. So these are called as adaptations. Okay, so now next here, one Darwin's theory of evolution is given. It has two principles. The first one is survival to the fittest. Now what does this principle says? This scientist Charles Darwin, he was a biologist. What he said, that the first principle says that the only the plant and animal which can survive are the animals which can best adapt themselves to their surrounding, which can make themselves really comfortable to the environment in which they live. Only those are the animals which can survive. Now, and the second principle of Charles Darwin says that if one plant or animal, they are born with certain beneficial characteristics, and they have adapt some characteristics to survive into their environment. So those beneficial characteristics are also passed on to their next generation. So this is the principle or the theory of natural selection. So that's it in the Darwin's theory. Now next we'll see classification of living organisms. Now, as you all know, classification is necessary so that we can easily identify the animals, and we can study them. And as you all know, there are many various different types of varieties in plants and animals, and which are difficult to study. So that's why these classifications are done, so that we can identify them easily. So on the basis of the similarities and the differences of plants and animals and their food habits, living, and many more, there are groups and subgroups which are formed so that they can be easily classified. As you can see here is a chart given. In this chart an hierarchy is made, and all the subgroups are here, so that they can be classified easily. For example, here an example of mango, which is a fruit, you all know, and human, which means we human beings. So humans are given. Now these are the different categories in which they will be classified. Now mango, what is the kingdom of mango? It is Plantae. What is phylum? Anthophylla. What is class? Dicotyledon. What is order of mango? That is Sapindales. So these are all the categories which it has. Same applies for the human. What is the kingdom of human? Humans are included in Animalia. What are the phylum of humans? That is Chordata. What is the class of humans? Mammalia. What is the order? Primates. What is the family? Hominidae. What is genus? That is Homo. What is species? That is Sapiens. Now in order to classify them, as you all know, there are different varieties of plants and animals. There are many plants found in this earth, plants and animals. Now how will we identify them or will name them? For example, if you have in your own class, if you see, there may be this condition that 4 students have the same name. So how will you identify which student we are talking about, or which students we are pointing about? So what we do, we use their names, or we use their last name or surname, you can say, so that we can identify them. So here is the same case applies here in binomial nomenclature. Now what this binomial nomenclature is? Binomial nomenclature is the scientific name which is assigned to each species which is present on earth. Now how these binomial nomenclature is formed? This binomial nomenclature has 2 names. What are those 2 names? If you can see here, this genus and species. Binomial nomenclature consists of 2 names, which is genus and species. For example, these mango. What is the binomial nomenclature? Binomial nomenclature is nothing but the scientific name of that fruit, animal, or human beings, whatever. So what is the binomial nomenclature of mango? How will you form the binomial nomenclature of mango? So what you have to do, you have to first use the genus, and then second you have to use the species. The genus of mango is Mangifera and species of mango is Indica. So Mangifera indica, this is the name, scientific name of mango. You can also check this on internet. The scientific name of mango will be Mangifera indica. So this is how the binomial nomenclature of a particular fruit, a particular animal, or particular human is formed. If you'll see, for humans, what will be the binomial nomenclature for humans? Binomial nomenclature or scientific names. So scientific name of human, if you'll search on internet, then you'll get to know that is Homo sapiens. Human are called as Homo sapiens in scientific terms. So Homo is the genus. How this Homo sapien name is made? Homo is the genus of humans and sapiens is the species. So in same way the binomial nomenclature is formed for identifying other animals, plants, and their different varieties and species. So that's it. I hope you must have understood all the adaptations, these binomial nomenclature, and the entire chapter. Thank you.